If you want to have more clarity of thought and speak with more authority, you have to practice speaking. And the person you need to practice speaking the most is yourself. And that's what we're going to talk about today, journaling out loud. This is not something we're ever taught to do. In fact, we're thought to be crazy if we talk to ourselves. We are rather advised to write things down more. We're asked to journal and reflect on our thoughts like that. But that gets really hard. We either get busy or we get lazy because journaling takes a lot of effort. You have to chalk out separate time, then you have to sit privately with your thoughts, and then you have to write all those lines, and who knows what the right spellings are. So today, I'm going to release you from all those tensions and show you how you can journal without any big commitment. You can do it on the go, you can do it anywhere, anytime. And although there is going to be a structure, it is going to be a very flexible structure depending on how much time you have that day. So it's time to stop randomly replaying old conversations in your head over and over that leads to nothing and nowhere. I'm going to give you an easy format how you can talk out loud with yourself and get the fruits of journaling without the effort and commitment and privacy requirements of a traditional journaling. It will clear up your thoughts, it will give you clear directions, it will make you procrastinate less, it will make you more productive and more positive. And next time you go out in the world and talk, it will show. So no more going in circles, no more being all scattered and confused in your brain. It's time to journal out loud and put things in perspective. My name is Rai. I'm a former media presenter and director. And out here, I talk about all those things that build our confidence, communication skills, and build our own personal brand. So if you don't have too much time, where and when can you do journaling out loud? The trick is to club it with an activity you already do on a regular basis. Maybe you go for a walk. Maybe you have to commute. Maybe you have to wait outside your kids' hobby classes. You probably cook every day. Find the most boring thing that you do every day and club your JOL with it. Let me know in the comments what is the most boring thing you have to do on a regular basis. Maybe that's your clue. Is it ironing clothes? Let me know. So how long is this going to take? The good news is it's very flexible because I'm going to give you a structure that has 3 parts. And some days you're going to have time for only the first part, and some days you're going to have time for all 3. But you'll probably have less times on weekdays and probably a little more time on your day offs. So it can take somewhere between 5 minutes to 30 minutes tops. So how do you start your JOL or journaling out loud? You start with a huddle. You've seen how sports teams huddle before a big match or a game or sing a national anthem. This is to put you in the right mindset. They huddle together and they chant something they all know. It's like their own catchphrase. It really boosts their spirit and sets them up for success. You are going to do very much the same with yourself. Now the question is, how are you going to come up with your own huddle chant? The trick is to think, what is your biggest behavioral enemy? Are you slow? Do you always show up late? Are you always scared to talk to people? Or do you get very emotional or angry very quickly? Are you unorganized and all over the place with your things? What has been your biggest behavioral enemy? You need to figure that out and you need to come up with a line around it. It's going to be an interesting exercise. Let me know in the comments what you consider to be your biggest behavioral enemy. You know how people say in front of the mirror, I'm strong, I'm confident? You need to come up with a version of yourself, but that is very tailored to what you're going through and what you are about. However, if you cannot think of anything specific, just say that I'm going to be positive and I'm going to be productive. That should work. Every morning with that first sip of coffee or tea, I'm going to be productive and I'm going to be positive. But if you've come up with something for yourself, let me know in the comments. It'll be really fun to read. The next step is to choose the agenda of the day. You've heard of the word compartmentalize. Let me introduce you to the word departmentalize. Segment your life into different departments. There is finance, there is personal life, there is social obligations, there is health and fitness. So all these balls you're juggling in the air, these are your different departments of life. And sometimes we fail to prioritize important things like finances or checking on the homework of your kids. Or it could be cleaning up and organizing something you've been putting on the back burner for a long time and it's making your life really cluttered. So make a list of all the departments you have in your life and then put them aside. And every day when you sit or walk or run, For your JOL, journaling out loud, you pick up just one or two for your agenda of the day. Pick only as much as it does not overwhelm you, but make sure over a period of a month, you have addressed every department at least once. So if you had to upgrade your insurance, then so be it. And the third and the final step of JOL or journaling out loud is, of course, the real talk. The talk that you're going to have with yourself on the agenda of the day. It's not you just spitballing whatever is coming to your mind. This needs a little bit of careful consideration. When I became a mom, I became a part of a lot of Facebook groups. And because I was sometimes in India and sometimes in US, I was a part of Indian groups, Indian expat and NRI groups, as well as local American groups. And I noticed something very interesting. With the Indian groups, the moms were usually surrounded by big families. But when they wanted to post about their problems, they would go anonymous. They would not mention their name. With the moms in the West, they were mostly all by themselves. They were mostly single moms with little to no help. They would put their real name out there and talk about their problems openly without much hesitation. But what was common between the two was that they were mostly talking about the same kind of problems: in-laws problems, husband not picking up their share of housework problems, kids developing ADHD problems, the meal prep, the schoolwork, the childcare, the usual problems. But what was really common between the two was they all needed to vent. So the first part where they put the post was like the venting part, because they actually knew the problem as well as the solution for most parts, but they needed somebody to say it back to them, and the comment section provided that saying back. Now, when you are doing JOL or journaling out loud and talking to yourself, you need to play both these parts. You need to be the Facebook post and you need to be the comment section. So you need to debate the pros and cons with yourself. Now you might say, what if I end up just as confused as before, even after doing the pros and cons? Then what? Then you go to the good old cliche, how am I going to feel about this 5 years from now? Cliche as it may be, it really puts things in perspective because it stops you from wasting a second of your time on things that is not going to give you results. And in the heart of your hearts, you know it, but you just need the courage to admit it. I hope this video really helped and you're going to try out JOL. Do like and subscribe because it's a really new channel and every subscriber matters to me so much. Thank you for subscribing and I will see you in the next video.